entire reality which I have been in the matrix, if you want to call it that. I was 20 years old when I first came across network marketing, and I never knew what exactly was network marketing. If you think working for someone else is hard, try being your own boss.
Today, I'm honored to have a guest that I've been following religiously for the past year. At the time I started following them, they had around, I would say, 40,000 TikTok followers, and we're talking about their journey to 1,000 YouTube subscribers. I still remember that. And today, he has around 8,000 Instagram followers, 15,000 YouTube followers, and 700,000 TikTok followers. And I recently learned that they've just reached 1 million likes. Oh, and that's not all. They run a podcast while running various side hustles. Oh, and did I mention he has a corporate job? Wow. Welcome to the show, Jatin.
Thank you for having me on this podcast.
What is your story? What got you started?
It all started when I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad for the first time. I started to think everything again in my life, like, okay, the entire reality which I have been in the matrix, if you want to call it that. So then I just started to look into property. That was my first thing I started looking to. I started to go to seminars. I done this and that, but the only problem with me during that moment was that I wasn't taking any actions. I was just consuming. So once that was over, I went back to a corporate job. So that's when I got a corporate job, and I left my property. I left the hustling, and I just thought, you know what, this hustling thing is so hard. Let me just stick to a corporate job because life is much simpler there. After a year, I just felt that, you know what, to be honest, this is not what I really enjoy. What I really enjoy is the hustle and just taking risk, and that's the kind of me. I was 20 years old when I first came across network marketing, and I never knew what exactly was network marketing and pyramid schemes. That's what people know network marketing as. And so I got into that for a month or so. I done it. Great life experience I had. It wasn't a thing I regret because of that specific thing, it led me to these paths. I left network marketing and then I flew Budapest. Yeah, March 2020 was the moment I flew back from Budapest to London, and I was lost. I was lost in a sense. I was kind of depressed, or it was the worst phase of my time. I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. What is the thing I love doing the most, even in my spare time? And that was me talking to people, inspiring people. And that was the kind of thing I even done back in school. I went into the self-discovery journey. So I used to watch Jay Shetty. I used to Tom Bailey, I think. I watched him, and I just tried my best to discover everything. And then I came across the spiritual life. I decided that, you know what, let's start TikTok. Let's start TikTok and just speak to people, inspire people, because I always wanted to do YouTube in a sense. Like I always done YouTube when I was 14, 15, but I never took it that seriously. And then I just started making TikToks, and I just started to do everything, and just stayed consistent, I would say. That's been my journey. I could have shortened it, but I just went too long. I went from the right start to the end.
People, when they go to your profile, they'll see 700,000 TikTok followers. They don't know what's happened before TikTok. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know how you had to restart. So I think it's so important for everyone to hear and listen, because this is all part of the journey. You, at some point, you went back to corporate because you thought life was simple with corporate. You know what? So many people, they choose entrepreneurship because now it's a cool thing, right? Oh, I'm an entrepreneur and I don't want to work this hard. I just want to be my boss. So I just want you to touch on that again, and how hustling is actually tougher than corporate.
Being your own boss is the hardest thing you will ever do. If you think working for someone else is hard, try being your own boss. Try being disciplined to wake up. Try being disciplined enough to meet the deadlines you have set for yourself. And I'm telling you, your mind is the biggest factor or biggest enemy in front of you. If you don't make it your friend, then just forget about being your own boss, because when you hustle, when you want to do something of your own, you have to be so disciplined, and that's one of the hardest thing. And people often ask me, Jatin, how do you stay motivated to do this and that? And I always tell them, I'm never motivated to do certain things. I'm just disciplined, and that's what has led me to be where I am. And I'm not where I want to be, but I'm grateful for where I am. And that was due to consistency, being disciplined, and being patient. And that's just basically what led me here.
100%. Because like, even someone who does a corporate job myself, you can leave your corporate job sometimes in the evening, sometimes in the weekends, like, and there are times you can, but there are times you can. But with entrepreneurship, I don't think there's been a single second where either I'm not too hard on myself, like, oh, I should be doing more, or I'm thinking of the next idea. Like, there's never a disconnect. I sleep thinking about this and I wake up thinking about this. And so, anyone listening to this, big nugget here, do not go into this because it's cooler or less work. It's actually way more work than
Way more work.
anticipated.
And in terms of how your mental mind is always going to be working 24/7, as an entrepreneur, you're more likely to face depression and just mental exhaustion, burnouts. And that is when, once you become a little bit experienced in the entrepreneurship field, you kind of have to balance both life of how having fun and hustling is important. And I guess now I'm in the phase of figuring out that balance, because burnouts are one of the worst things I face as a hustler, because it's just me when there's a phase where I just feel like nothing's working out. My mind, maybe that was a phase which I've overcome, and now I've become stronger from that phase, so I can handle those phases properly. But for many people, burnouts, once you hit one, it's gonna be a life experience.
100%.